I never got around to watching the Daryl Hannah remake, but I have seen the 1958 original Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. There's a good chance that the Super Friends target audience hadn't.
Surrounded by the vastness of the barren desert lies the secret laboratory of Professor Amy Zahn.
My super strength formula is complete, Dr. Taylor. Soon, women will be as strong as men. We will no longer be the weaker sex.
Anybody who really thinks that needs to have a baby and then tell me how tough they are. She thinks because men tend to be physically stronger than the average woman, women are inferior. Rather than, say, pump iron and develop physical strength, she wants a shortcut.
And I shall be the first to try out my experimental formula.
But Professor Zahn, your formula's untested. It could be dangerous.
Nonsense. My calculations were perfect.
Professor Zahn! Something's gone wrong!
Before she knew it, she had a driving need to go to Tokyo and hunt down Spider-Man.
And then her experiment went wild, Super Friends. She grew to 50 feet tall and disappeared into the night. You've got to stop her.
Holy gargantuans, what'll we do?
Our only chance is to find Professor Zahn and bring her back to our laboratory.
You try to find the antidote that will make her normal again. We'll take care of the rest.
She doesn't seem to have a goal in mind except showing off.
So, women are the weaker sex.
How do you like me now? There she is, Batman. But how are we gonna stop her?
With some fancy flying, Robin.
Wonder Woman will decoy her while Batman does whatever it is he has in mind.
I may not be able to see you, Wonder Woman, but with your tiny size, you're helpless to stop me.
One spray of this bat tranquilizer, and Professor Zahn will be out like a light.
Next time you hop onto her shoulder, don't take so long to start spraying.
Batman, the perfect one for my next experiment. Now we'll see if my formula can work on a man, too.
Being 50 feet tall could have advantages for his crime fighting, but he'd have a hard time getting in his vehicles and the Batcave. It wouldn't do much for Bruce Wayne's dating life either. There's a research ship in the harbor that she says should have what she needs.
We've got to capture her by surprise.
You're right, Wonder Woman. What's the plan?
You go to the research ship, install Professor Zahn, while I take the invisible jet and get Dr. Taylor. Hopefully she's formulated the antidote by now.
Good thinking. Then we zap her back to normal.
Right.
Let's hope she buys Robin's distraction long enough for that to happen.
Hey, Amazon lady! Bet you can't catch me!
We'll see about that.
Now that's what I call a super handcuff.
Was that part of the plan, or did Robin notice that door bar and come up with it on his own? Nah, had to be part of the plan. She's focused enough that Batman is able to get free and swim away.
Your cables can't catch me, Super Friends.
I believe they just did.
But I can catch you. It looks like you fell into your own trap.
We don't want to trap you, Professor Zahn. Just return you to normal. No!
When they said they had the antidote, she was still stuck in that ship, so I was going to ask if she can swim, but she got loose and walked to land just in time. How about that?
I'm truly sorry for all of the trouble I've caused you, Super Friends.
Fortunately, the only damage done was to your own lab.
I guess I've learned that physical strength is not the measure of equality. It's strength of character that's important.
The biggest obstacles are social factors like insecure men. The only way to overcome those is with persuasion and one at a time.
Right. Besides, at 50 feet tall, you wouldn't be able to find anything in your dress size.
I was also thinking she'd go broke buying makeup. She can always make dresses out of those tarps they put over baseball fields when it rains.
Safety is important in any swimming area.
Aquaman, help! What happened?
Breathed in a little water. I'll show you how to help him. Put him in a sitting position and get his head below his knees. That helps him cough out the water he breathed in.
Glad you were here. Yeah. Thanks, Aquaman.
Glad to be of help. But remember, only fish breathe underwater.
Unless you happen to be Aquaman.
Or you take your air with you like I do.
In the local countryside, just outside of Mid-City, athletes from the neighboring high schools are about to start their annual cross-country race.
I sure hope I win. 10 miles is a long race.
Don't overexert yourself. Only one person's gonna win this race, and that's me.
He has a good reason for being so confident.
They didn't spot me. This little shortcut's gonna cinch the race for me.
Usually when somebody talks about a shortcut, they mean the race path goes in an arc like this and they cut across it like this. His shortcut looks a lot like a long cut to me.
Now to cross this gorge. In a few minutes, I'll be in first place.
He didn't realize that in the time it took him to set up that rope and hand over hand across the gorge, all the other runners had finished and there was a search party out looking for him.
Help! Somebody help us! We can't get back up!
They'll be okay. Their folks will find them any minute.
There really is a search party, but they're looking for those two. Obviously, they're not finding them. They need help.
Basketball's always been my game, Jaina. Watch me get a quick two-pointer.
Okay, what was that blue thing that knocked it away?
Nice try, Sam. Now I'll show you how your super sis does it.
I hope Gleek isn't supposed to be the referee because he's showing definite favoritism.
That's what I call my monkey dunk.
Monkey dunk sounds vaguely risque. I call it cheating, which is the title of today's episode. Nice of Jaina to demonstrate it for us. The call comes in and they're off just as the storm comes up.
Just like you said, first place.
Yup. Guess I'm the best.
Wonder Twin powers, deactivate.
It's the Wonder Twins. What are you two doing here? We're searching for two kids lost up there in the mountains.
Any of you seen them? No. None of us have seen any kids.
There isn't much time before the storm hits.
One voice is oddly quiet. Jack has a decision to make. What font does he want for his name on the trophy? Wait, that's not it.
We could use all the help we can get.
Well, we'll help.
Sure, yeah.
Let's go.
Come on, everybody.
He's watching the lightning and his conscience is pushing the knife deeper and deeper.
Oh no, that lightning hit right where those kids are trapped. Wait! I know where they are. They're just below those distant trees, stranded near the bottom of the gorge.
The knife struck gold. What sort of creative way will the Wonder Twins get those kids out of this? Especially since a flash flood is headed their way. A flash flood is nothing to trifle with. One day when we lived in Wyoming, we took a trip up to a wilderness area just outside Yellowstone. I had brought my fly fishing gear, and soon I was standing on a rock in the nearby stream chasing the elusive rainbow. We knew there was a storm coming our way, but we decided to have fun for as long as we could. There were many things we didn't understand. While I was standing there casting and letting my mind wander, I noticed that the sound of the water had changed. I glanced down and it was getting muddy. It had also risen so much it was almost covering my rock. Then it occurred to me that all the rain heading our way was already falling upstream from me. I looked that way, and a stump half the size of a Volkswagen was riding a wall of water and coming right at me. I got out in plenty of time, but watching that mass of water, powerful enough to uproot that thing, go by, and thinking about what it would have done to me or one of my kids is a lesson I will never forget. These kids need out of there, now.
Form of an ice dam!
Shape of a kangaroo! Hop aboard!
Hurry, Jaina! I can't hold this flood water much longer!
Okay, fellas, hang on!
Zan couldn't hold the water anymore, and a piece of debris knocked him unconscious. When he woke up, he was so thoroughly mixed with the rest of the water, he never was able to find all of himself. Jack accepts his punishment and has learned a lesson about cheating. It was just as well. The engravers mistakenly put his name in Comic Sans anyway.
I'm about to set up the first clue in today's Super Friends Decoder Puzzle. As always, the code word has something to do with the Super Friends story coming up. This trip into the galaxy contains the clues, and the first clue is the name of where I am right now. I've left the Earth and have entered an area that's sometimes described in 2 words. The first of the 2 is outer, but it's the second word we're looking for. I'll be back in a few minutes to give you another clue.
That's easy. The space between planets is a void.
Did you see that? It looked like a UFO.
Landed just the other side of Boogan's Hill.
It's funny how these things always seem to happen outside some little farming town, what my dad used to call a wide place in the road. They never happen in Central Park, mainly because New York doesn't actually exist in this universe unless the plot demands it.
What in blazes?
That there is what you call a ball, a very big ball. News crews are quickly on the scene and people are watching it on TV when it starts doing stuff.
Look!
It's moving!
Run for it! It's terrible! The huge unearthly craft is tearing an entire farmhouse from its foundations, storing it inside its monstrous body.
It's a robot probe of some kind, and it's vacuuming up samples of everything. Since it has no way to tell what's intelligent and what's not, especially during certain times of the year, it'll grab some of everything and let someone with a higher pay grade sort it out later.
Come on, Gleek. You know it's time for your weekly bath.
Yeah, take it like a monkey.
Wonder Twin Powers, activate! Form of bath water.
Here's a pleasant question. What happens to Zan if Gleek relieves himself? Bathing is done just in time for the call about the space probe to come in. The Super Friends are on the way.
Quick, Robin, activate the instant Batnet rockets.
Rockets away, Batman! It worked, Batman!
That's the fast Robin, look!
It didn't work, Batman! Superman can't get near it because it's partially made of kryptonite. Wonder Woman has had the computer analyzing it.
Computer analysis indicates the lander is programmed to overcome anything threatening it. The lander is programmed for self-preservation. It is unstoppable.
Being superheroes, they'll go try to stop it anyway. It's in their contracts. And besides, someone at the Space Center thinks they found a way.
Yes, Super Friends. Our computers have detected a possible way to stop the space probe. All you have to do is turn the Justice League satellite around so that it faces the lander.
Right. A strong burst of radio waves from the Justice League satellite may jam the lander's computer programming.
Should be easy. Their ground control can use thrusters to turn the satellite around. Then again, when you can go into space and rope it like a calf, why waste your money on thrusters?
That did it! The satellite is pointing straight at Metropolis Harbor. Now to activate the radio jamming waves.
Hooray, it worked!
The lander's self-protecting computer circuits place lead shields around the computer, protecting it from the jamming waves.
Briefly, there really is no way to stop this thing. The Wonder Twins save a kid on a bike from getting vacuumed up. Now Gleek has decided to save the bike.
Oh no! Gleek is headed straight for the lander!
The twins and Gleek are inside the lander.
For the kid, they activate their powers. For Gleek, they run after him and grab on. Somebody needs to hold them down so Gleek can tickle them with his tail until they barf.
The lander stores away its human specimens.
Excellent.
I thought the Skrulls were Marvel, not DC. The lander stops, but the Super Friends can't find any way inside. We learn that it stopped so it can flash freeze all the specimens.
Satellite scanners indicate the origin of the probe is the planet Xeno in Sector 17.
I'm hooking up to their radio frequency and will present them on the monitor.
What do you want, Earthmen?
Your space probe is damaging the life and safety of Earth. You must release its occupants and retrieve your lander immediately.
Never! Why should we worry about what you tiny Earth creatures command?
He keeps hinting at how puny we are compared to them. If this probe of theirs is any indication, yeah, probably so.
Now for our second decoder clue. This transportation museum will help you with it. Remember, the first clue was the name of the area between Earth and the other planets. Once you've got that, go to work on the second clue. It's right here with these models. They all have a name in common, whether an air transport or this ancient sailing vessel. By putting the name of the area between Earth and the other planets, together with the name of this model, you'll get the secret code. The answer shortly.
That's a lot harder. A sailing ship, a Concorde, and a rocket. What do they have in common? They all go, but void go doesn't make sense. They all go fast in their category, so void fast? This one has me stumped. Superman has decided he'll have to go to Xeno and convince them to recall this thing.
People of Xeno must be 50 feet tall.
I know.
He's Superman. What's your point? Aboard the lander, they're starting the freezing process. If the Wonder Twins are going to find a way out of here, they'd better do it.
Our emergency rings! They're made of super steel! It'll cut right through this plastic! Wonder Twin powers, activate!
Or you could, cut yourself a door. He turns to mist, she turns into a parrot and releases Gleek. If they're smart, they'll do what I always say, start breaking stuff.
Jupiters, we're being attacked!
It looks like we've been out-twinned.
Hold on. If one of those robots can quick freeze the specimens, why do they need all that other gadgetry?
That door is over 50 feet tall. I think I'm in for some strong and angry opposition.
Stay away, Earthman. We have no time to bother with insignificant beings like you.
You must call back your lander.
We must do nothing.
Then come out so we can discuss it face to face.
No!
Superman doesn't like it when you come to his adopted planet, cause all kinds of trouble, and then decline to see him. It makes him want to decline your decline.
Can't give up. They'll see me whether they like it or not. Strange. There's no one here. Great Scott.
He's a giant!
Look out! He's huge! Run for cover!
Aw, they're like little troll dolls. He could fit a dozen of them in the pocket of his cape with his street clothes.
kryptonite, cables.
I knew he should put a bunch of them in his pocket. Now he's tied down like every visualization of Gulliver ever made. But unlike Gulliver, because of the kryptonite, he can't just rip himself loose.
I didn't come to harm you. It's you who endanger our planet.
That's what they all say before they try to take us over. We are sending our space probes all over the galaxy to gather information so we can prepare our defense.
Defense through aggression. This is very much a child of its times. The lander is on the move again. This time it's trying to suck up an entire freight train. I'm not sure its computer brain understands the concept of too big for the scoop.
Nice shot, Wonder Woman. You lassoed the wheel.
Start your engine and give it all you've got. It worked, Batman.
Nice little makeshift winch there, strong enough to pull it loose. Wonder Woman suddenly realized it was going to take her at least 2 days to unravel her lasso from that train's wheel, so that pretty well took her out of the battle.
They won't listen to reason. I've got to get out of here. If my heat vision can melt those beams, I may be able to cut myself loose.
Or maybe the weight of the beam will snap the cables and save you the trouble. May as well try it. Oh, he already did.
Now, back to the question at hand. Will you call back your space probe?
We cannot. It is programmed to complete its mission regardless of any hazard.
With that duplicate lander, I could fly back to Earth and stop the first lander.
He knows how to operate it because there's only one company in the galaxy that makes controls for these things, and he's read the user's manual.
Superman to Super Friends, I'm controlling the second lander. With the power of this craft, I should be able to stop the other.
Ready to assist you, Superman.
That's nice, but I'm pretty sure he was trying to tell you to get out of the way. The battle rages.
I'm so happy when you dance with me.
Now, to open the lander's specimen compartments and release their contents.
He opens the bottom of the lander and the Batcopter starts carrying containers of people and stuff out, setting them down and thawing them. That includes the Wonder Twins. Zan can stop being a pile of ice cubes. They unload everything it gathered, and now it's time to get rid of this thing.
Superman rockets away with the lander probes, sending them both on a final course toward the sun.
I admit it, I more than half expected him to give them back to the Xeno guys. I used to tell my kids I'm always right, and for a couple of years I had them bamboozled. But there are moments when I don't mind being wrong. Now, what about all those other worlds that they said they're screwing up with these things?
Superman, you have taught my people and me a great lesson. Our mistrust and fear of others was what caused our problems in the first place.
If you're always watching out for enemies, you'll find only enemies.
So look for friends instead.
By 1977, the people who needed this message most had found friends in the suburbs where everybody else was like them. Constant fear of other people is a terrible way to live. It robs you of almost all your joy because you can never really let yourself go. You're always looking over your shoulder in case one of them there Hingdahoovians might get you. I have 2 words of advice for those people. Grow up.
Now we'll see how the decoder clues fit together. I'm taking off and flying out of the Earth's atmosphere into the area I said furnished the first clue. Yes, outer space. And the clue to the second part of the word was the name of the model we saw in the museum. Ship. Put space together with ship, and you get the code word, spaceship.
10-4. Well, another job well done, Robin. Sure is, Batman. Our portable bat radios came in super handy. You know, Robin, there's a way kids can make their own two-way phone. How's that? I'll show you. Here we are, Robin. With these 2 paper cups, some string, and 2 buttons, we have all the parts for a two-way phone.
Really? We're doing the 2 cups and a string for a phone? We did it with tin cans, and the idea is the same. I think I'll skip the second half. Most of us had done this at least once by the end of first grade, or whatever you call it in your country. In a remote African village, the peace has been shattered by a terrifying invasion.
Oh no! Killer bees! Killer bees! Into the hut! Hurry! The bees are approaching!
In the wide view, I counted 4 round huts and 2 rectangular ones, but for some reason they all ran into the same one. Bees are getting in one at a time here and there, but for the most part the hut is keeping them out. Still, all those people can't stay in that one room forever. Good thing someone got wind of this and called the Super Friends.
Samurai and myself are close by Africa, Super Friends.
Rest assured the situation will be handled.
While Aquaman swims to Africa, Samurai changes to the wind. Last time we saw him, I commented on how goofy it looked with him as a puff of swirling wind and his head bobbing along in front of it. A lot of people must have shared that opinion because he's not doing it this time. He turns into what looks like a small whirlwind and takes off. The situation at the village is pretty bad.
Our only hope of rescuing the villagers is to lure the bees away and trap them.
And there's what we'll use to capture them. That fishnet is large enough to hold the entire swarm.
I mean, I know the bees can crawl right out the holes, but they won't. They understand the honor system. Samurai turns invisible and procures the net.
The trap is ready, Aquaman. Once we lure the bees out of the village, they'll chase you down the river.
Right. If our timing is perfect, we'll scoop the bees up in the net. I just hope I can clear those rocks when I dive over the falls.
If he didn't, I doubt it would be appropriate for Saturday morning. So if you were getting ready to worry, never mind.
Oi! Kuchirina!
Crap, running!
But he's only the first leg of the relay.
It seems you are quite angry, my little friends, but not angry enough.
African killer bees are a thing, as we know, but I've never heard of them just randomly doing this. They need a reason to get mad at you, and there's only one thing that could get them all mad at the same time like that. So, which one of you has the queen stuck to the bottom of your shoe?
Commandingen!
Over here! Try and catch me!
Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap! Swimming!
It's time for the bees to go back to the hive.
And where is that? Anywhere but here. Someone will take them deep into the back country and release them where they can't hurt anybody. If there wasn't a queen in that bunch, they won't know what to do with themselves, but that's their problem.
Ouch!
You okay?
Yes, but I did cut my elbow a little.
Here, let me take a look. Not a bad one, but you ought to take care of it.
I'll go home later.
The thing to do for little scrapes is to clean them up right away so they won't get infected. This'll wash out the dirt and help it heal.
Thanks, Aquaman. Goodbye.
Remember to clean and bandage it when you get home.
Today we know that cleaning it off immediately like that is pretty much all a scrape like that needs. Topical antibiotics can't hurt, but if the wound has been washed properly, there's nothing for them to do. When the scab forms, leave it there. Those form for a reason, and it's not just to look gnarly and gross your friends out. This episode was pretty straightforward. The most interesting thing to me was how we went from a 50-foot woman to 50-foot wannabes. Is that what you call downsizing? Being 50 feet tall? Or did Robin know that's and punishment and has learned? Then again, when you in the galaxy